Hi Aquarius, these are your May 2016 horoscopes with me, Lada from Astrolada.com. For anyone who has their ascendant sun or moon in Aquarius, sorry for the bit late. I usually post them a month before the month, basically, but this month I have not been so well and I'm still trying to recover. But here we are, and let's see what Aquarians ascendant sun or moon can expect in May. Well, there is a big Grand Trine activation in your emotional houses, the houses of the soul, of the spirit, the houses of basically the subconscious, the feelings. And those planets, the planets in the sky basically are arranging themselves in the shape of a grand triangle, basically equilateral triangle, which basically there's the Sun, Venus and Mercury at one point, and there is Pluto and Jupiter at the other 2 points of the equilateral triangle. And astrological observations have proved that this harmonious shape, the eye of the pyramid, basically, when it's formed in the sky, it brings extremely healing energy in whatever houses it triggers in your personal horoscope. Because the energy flows so easy, there is no tension between the four angles of the triangle, equilateral triangle. In the same way, when the planets are arranged in this way, they really harmonize the atmosphere. Even though there are, in May, some also tense configurations in the sky, I want to focus a little bit on this one for you, Aquarius. And it's happening, as I said, in our, because I'm Aquarius ascendant as well, it's happening in our emotional houses, in the 4th, 8th, and 12th houses. And particularly the focus is in the 4th house. So what it means that this, they can be a healing of deep-seated emotional wounds. They can be a healing of some trauma or emotional pain that you've buried, or even something that you're not conscious of that has been making you self-sabotage yourself. And possibly even something that comes and stems back to your childhood or earlier years, because the 4th house rules our childhood. Our parental family, something that because of parents, maybe some healing of relationships or wounding that's happened through parents or through early childhood. And the 4th house also indicates our overall emotional well-being. It's called the house of happiness. And whether we're happy or not very much depends on what planets we have in the 4th house by the birth chart, in the birth chart when we're born. Now when 3 planets are triggering this 4th house, they're kind of stirring the mud of your memories, so to speak. They're stirring the mud of your memories that dictate whether you're someone who is emotionally happy overall or emotionally more isolated or more reactive, So whatever your natural predisposition is, they'll bring it even more to the surface. Whatever your natural reactions to the stimulation of the world, whatever your natural reactions to provocations or to any kind of outer stimulus is, it will be intense more. So what happens, you might feel yourself more emotional. So definitely May, even starting from the last part of April, the last 10 days, you can find yourself experiences more vivid emotions, more vivid, deeper experiences, and it might not be something that's happening around you that is, necessarily on the outside world that is making everything much more colorful emotionally or much more intense. It can be just a very personal, private experience, or it can be triggered from some outer reactions, but you react on a more emotional level than other times. So if you're feeling more sensitive, more emotional, don't be aware that this is because of this trigger. And actually, even if these emotions are stirred to the surface, and you might feel, we as an Aquarius like to feel more detached, not to get things too personally, but now we'll be triggered to get more things more personally, to react more personally, to be more, sensitive and almost vulnerable as well. But at the same time, as I said, it's a Grand Trine, so it has healing influence. The stirring of those emotions is like boiling up the dross from the bottom of something and bringing it to the surface and evaporating it, basically. It's like a cleansing process. And some of you might find yourself reminiscing a lot about the past. Reminiscing because especially there is a Mercury retrograde day in your 4th house of memories, childhood, family, and emotional happiness and moods overall, your emotional happiness. So Mercury there makes you think a lot about your feelings, analyze your feelings, look at them from different angle. really, you have a unique chance, we have Aquarius, a unique chance to understand ourselves and our deep motives and emotional motivations in our life and emotional reactions from a very different angle and a deeper perspective. Some of you might be leading emotional conversations with close people that you share about the past, that you share about your feelings. Some of you might be just reading books about that, exploring and trying to understand, psychologically ingrained patterns or things from the past that happen, or just trying to understand what emotionally motivates you. And others might be even, it's a very good month, for example, to re-examine the past and to go over your feelings with a counselor, with an advisor, with a psychologist. And they will help you bring some detachment or a different perspective. So if you're thinking about that, it can be a very good period for such matters. On another more mundane level, you might be having important conversations with family members, with close people in your life, the ones that you consider your family, because the fourth house rules family. And it might be sometimes a little bit more intense, a little bit more emotional, because Mercury retrograde tends to become very intense. So communications in the family becomes more intense, like an overflow of things that maybe you have not said before to your parents or to your current family that you've created, or things that they have not said before, or things that they bring from the past that you talk about. And initially this can strain a little bit the relationship, but through talking you can really actually deepen it. Once Mercury starts moving direct, you have a much deeper connection to a member of your family or to someone close that you consider, emotionally connected with, and it's more like as a nurturing influence, as a supportive influence, rather than like sexual intimacy of a sort. But definitely if you're in a sexual relationship, you can open up a lot to the person, you can share about your past, you can talk about your feelings a lot, you can bring up things about the feelings that you bring to, that you communicate about and you discuss. And because this Mercury retrograde is more auspicious, because it's all easily aspected, it receives sextiles from Neptune trine, from Jupiter trine, from Pluto, these are all easy aspects. So good communication, going over the past and bringing things that you don't feel so good about, will not strain so much those relationships, but actually will help stabilize them, even if initially it can create some, more intense emotions there. And by the time Mercury starts moving direct, very likely you'll be with a deeper emotional connection to people and understanding about your own inner world as well. And the fourth house on the mundane level is also and you can receive a lot of support in that, in exploring your past through psychologists, which is Pluto in your 8th house, Jupiter in your 8th house, or through exploring the subconscious, Pluto in the 12th house, through prayer and meditation, through moments alone as well. Pluto is helping from the 12th house, the house of kind of isolating yourself, taking time to observe, to ruminate, to walk in nature. So, you might not be like the most productive on the outside level, but you definitely will gather a lot of material from the deep subconscious layers of yourself, and even material for inspiration to act out in the physical world after that, for achievements of some sort, because you'd know yourself better, you'd understand your feelings better. So it's kind of more introverted time. Or some of you, if they're not so deep, might just spend more time at home, or might go back to their roots, reconnect with family in some way, talk more with their parents, maybe read about the history of where they're coming. Or maybe, even the most practical level is just fix something around the home, change something around the home. The changing environment around the home is happening. They have to adapt because Mercury is retrograde there. So, something have to be fixed, or something have to be changed or removed or renewed in some way, redone in some way. Maybe you can start working on the garden in some way. Or maybe if you're trying to relocate, you might have to make extra negotiations about the new contract or about the new place, or extra planning and preparation, which Mercury retrograde requires. So it might not happen immediately if you expect. With Mercury retrograde, it's like the universe tells you there's something else you have not seen here that you have to work on, that you have to perfect. And even if the plan changes and the place changes, or the plan according to your intention changes, will show you, the universe will show you the mistakes and will show you the what is not exactly working, so you can fix it, and by the time Mercury starts moving direct, you'd have a better home to sell, or you'd have made some repairs that they're better to sell, or you'd have changed something there, or something with the contract or with the relocation that is more auspicious for you personally. Or you'd have fixed some relationships, family relationships. And another thing is that Jupiter is going direct in your 8th house, Aquarius, in our 8th house. That's great news. So if there were some complications in regards to and working hard on some project which are connected to mutual finances, which are connected to benefiting in some way from others' resources, from others' talents, or cooperating with someone, and now you can start seeing results from those cooperations. Now you can see the payoff. You can see the bonus of some cooperation with another, or money that comes to you if you expected some loan, if you expected some grant, if you expected some money coming to you from another person from the middle of May onwards for the next 2-3 months. You can see results when Mercury, or if there was some complicated financial or tax situation or inheritance situations, or divorce situations, which is all 8th house matters, or alimony situation, or expecting some money from somewhere, some payment from clients or something, you're going to start seeing positive results. So if you've worked on some project till now to increase income that comes to you through others, through clients' money, through partner, or expecting from a partner something, now you can start seeing, the wind starting to blow in the direction that you're going in regards to those matters. And also 8th house is the house of intimacy, especially sexual intimacy, opening yourself very much to another and becoming vulnerable. So this can be a process now. Maybe that in the past few months you've been reevaluating your sexuality, you've been reevaluating your intimacy as well, while Jupiter was moving the retrograde, which is about introspection more, and working hard on that to understand it on the psychological level. And now Jupiter, from the middle of May, or even from the 9th of May, it's kind of stationary and starts turning direct. So you can have some more intense intimacy with a person, a deeper bonding emotionally with a person, and it can even reignite your sexual life, or it can reignite your sexual potential, your sexual tantric, and this kind of kundalini energy, which is the 8th house, which is it's also creative energy, but the kundalini is very much connected to this primal desire, that if we don't waste that energy, or if it's not blocked in some way, it makes us have animalistic magnetism. It makes us have power over others, in a sense. It makes us vibrate with life. So there can be some kind of an awakening there that happens for Aquarius, with Jupiter starting to move direct, or some kind of a blockage of some stagnated intimacy situation or sexual situation, or some kind of a breakthrough in your psychological health, because the 8th house is the traumas we have, the fears we have, the traumas from the past that we've buried, the obsessive tendencies we have. So Jupiter can help bring some clarity now when it starts moving direct. And again, as I said, it comes back to some kind of powerful emotional healing that's happening, and deeper understanding about your own emotional needs and your own subconscious and your feelings. So yes, Aquarius, this is it. And there is another thing I forgot to mention. And Jupiter in the 8th can bring you some money, as I said, from other people and things like that. And Saturn and Mars continue to be retrograde in our 11th house. So be careful with our friendships, alienating social circles. Maybe friends might be in difficult spot. You might have to help them. Or you might be having some complications with friendships, or reevaluating friendships where you have to put more efforts rather than neglect them. Or if they're not workable situation mutually anymore, you can have to, cut off connections there. So that's what I see for you, Aquarius. Thank you very much. Saturn is square Jupiter as well. There is a grand square happening towards the end of May. So the energy is getting more and more intense towards the end of May. But we'll talk about that in the June videos, because the proper grand square is happening in June. So thank you so much. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook, where I have lots of psychics and astrologers. And on Facebook, we always promote free readings. You can win a free reading with me, or one of the psychics, or one of the astrologers, the amazing astrologers that cooperate with. Or you can win, I do free webinars there, or paid webinars, and I make there the announcement. So if you want to learn astrology with me, follow me on Facebook for daily astrological updates. Thank you very much.